You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. So we're now going to be talking to Stephanie on the telephone. We're going to be talking about community energy. Firstly, thank you very much for joining us. I was hoping you could introduce yourself to our listeners and tell them a little bit about yourself to start off with.
Yeah, so hello, I'm Stephanie Karpetas and I'm a director of Orchard Community Energy. That's a community energy solar farm. So it's just outside of Iwade in Sittingbourne. And it's been something that we have, a group of volunteer directors have brought into community ownership.
So who initially built the farm then?
The farm was built by some developers called OPDE. They were commercial developers, and they were, with government policy changing, they were told that they would have to keep on reducing the size of the solar farm, and eventually the only way that it would get permission would be if it were in community ownership. So we were introduced to the developers via an organisation called Mongoose Energy, and they specialise in community energy projects, making sure that the benefit, the surplus profits go into the community, and that also you get local people or, not just ordinary people investing, and they get a nice return in terms of interest payments on their investment.
So were you set up specifically because of this, or did you already exist as an organisation?
So the directors, we were already, most of us are involved in social enterprises or renewable energy projects. But yes, we came together as a board, especially to create this Orchard Community Energy, to bring the project into community ownership and to buy it via, community shares and investment that was going to be locked in for community benefit.
So you won't actually run the farm, then it's more about you getting the community involved in investing in it?
Yeah, we are running it as well. So we own it, and we have a contract with an operators and maintenance service, actually the developers, for 2 years, and then we'll look at maybe even if we can start to bring some of the work in locally. This farm will be well, it definitely has a lifetime of 25 years. This is what we've done all the financing across, and during that lifetime it should generate a surplus profit of £3 million, which will go into local community projects in Swale and Medway. But also, as directors of Orchard Community Energy, we'll be looking at where we get the best rate for the electricity that we sell. At the moment, we're going to sell it straight to the grid and get that rate. We were looking at other community energy projects that we could set up. So, yeah, we're very much running it, but it is members who own the project or the Orchard Community Energy, and so as directors we will stand down, and people who have bought shares in the project can stand for election, and they can vote on what happens. So yeah, we are very much in control of and we own this solar farm.
So how does it work, buying shares, and how much does that cost?
Well, we launched the share offer last October, and there were lots of organisations, community energy organisations, rushing to do that at the same time, because at that point, until the end of last November, you would be able to invest so you'd buy a share. It wouldn't be like buying a share on the stock market where the value of the share would go up or down. It was a share. You literally bought a share in the farm. The minimum investment of a share, and it's the same with our bond, was £500. The maximum, if you're a shareholder, is £100,000. And the return for a shareholder was 7%, but they do need to leave their money in for 20 years. That was the commitment with that. And the policy that changed, that up until November last year, you would get tax relief in something called social investment tax relief on your investment in community energy schemes. So the people that bought shares then, and we raised $522,000, will qualify for that tax relief. And then last week, on September 14th, we launched a 3-year bond, so a much shorter commitment time frame, and that's, again, £500 minimum investment. The maximum investment this time, because it's a bond, not a share, is 1.8 million, which is the amount that we're looking to raise, and the interest rate's 5.5%. But with the bond, what was I going to say? The bond, we've got everything, it's financed already. We've got a bank loan of 3.3 million. We've got our shareholders. And this 1.8 million, because it's a £6 million project, is finance that's been left in by the developers. It's on a higher interest than 5.5%. And clearly it's not a community interest there. The interest is going to the commercial developers. And what we want to do is truly bring it into community ownership. So we are then offering this bond, and it will close at the end of October, but we're offering a chance for people to buy, again, a bond of 5.5% interest and a 3-year commitment.
Now, the people that are involved, like you, are all got sort of different experiences, haven't they, as well? I was reading about.
We have. We've got a really great group of directors. So my background is I've been involved in sustainability projects for 20 years. I started off as environment manager at British Airways, and in Kent I've been working on low carbon projects and things that would really stimulate employment and business growth in the low carbon economy. And now most recently I've got a social enterprise called Sustainability Connections, and we work, one of our biggest projects is we are government funded to run energy advice clinics for vulnerable consumers, just really helping them read their energy bills, not get ripped off by staying on the standard tariff, and also to check if they're eligible for things like the Warm Homes discount, which has a broader eligibility group. So we go to community organisations, we team up with charities, and we really try and get word out to people who wouldn't usually trust people, who get fed off people ringing them up and telling them, have you switched? Because we can look across the whole market for them and really check that it's right for them and give them advice. So that's what Sustainability Connections does. Our chair, Penny Shepherd, has a background in social finance. She's also an energy champion as well. We've got the chair of Iwade Parish Council. We've got two directors who both hold masters on very good qualifications in renewable energy and know a lot more than me on the technical side of it. But yeah, really great. We've got a local councillor as well, and people who are, embedded in the community and are used to running, because the other important thing will be we'll have £3 million over the 25-year lifetime that we'll be giving away to projects. So it's about managing that money really well and giving it to organisations who will really be able to do things around climate change mitigation or wildlife conservation or to tackle fuel poverty.
And I was going to say, that's money that will be made from selling the energy, is
That's right. It's money that's made from with solar, with people who've got solar panels on their houses will know that you make your money, well, if it's on your house, you kind of save money by using the solar energy. With a solar farm, you're selling it, the energy that's generated. And these sunny days that we've had, the last week, for example, when we had that heat wave, that lovely September heat wave, the farm was, I asked about this, it generated about £12,000 worth of electricity over 5 days. And then on Friday, when we had that awful, rainy, kind of cloudy, like winter, autumn came in, it was about £400 because it's still light. We're lucky in Kent. We have one of the best, we live in one of the best areas for light in the whole UK. So we make some money by selling our electricity into the grid, and the other way that the farm makes money is because there's a government incentive for solar, for renewable energy, something called the feed-in tariff, and that is fixed for 20 years. And with this particular farm, because it was in planning and development over a year ago, it's actually locked in at a very much higher rate than you can get now for commercial developments. Because the government, again, around, I think it was July or August last year, announced that they were going to slash the feed-in tariff by 80%. So we've locked in a higher rate, and that feed-in tariff is a fixed amount that gets paid according to the capacity of our farm, and it's also index-linked. So if if we have inflation goes up, so does the feed-in tariff payment go up, and that also generates a really good income then over 20 years that we get that feed-in tariff.
So the actual farm, has it actually been built yet?
Yes, it has. I was there this morning and on Friday. Yeah, it's up and running. It was actually started generating in January, and we acquired it because it's quite a long process to get something that size. Imagine to buy something for £6 million and to bring it into community ownership as well. So we acquired it in June this year. And so from now on, all of the money that it's generating is going to be go to community benefit, and surplus profits will start going towards this community fund.
And obviously, we've got the press release this week. Is that a particular reason? Is there something happening?
Yeah, so that was linked, Daniel, to the bond being launched on September the 14th. So it was really to say it's built now. It's in community ownership, and what we want to do is really get word out to local people in Kent. When we did the share offer, there are people in Bath and Bristol and Oxford and nationwide who kind of understand this model, and it gets quite addictive, I think, investing in it. So we had some really big investors who just like this model and want to see more community energy programs succeed, and 7% return is pretty good. But for the bond, we want to encourage people locally to get involved as well. We'd really like to see Kent residents have the opportunity to buy shares in this to get the to buy the bond and get the 5.5% return. And also, it was a way of really raising awareness that there is this community energy farm in Swale, and that we're going to be looking for projects. We won't have a lot of money in the first year. We have got £10,000 in our first year that we're going to give to projects, but we will have much bigger sums as the farm starts to be more and more profitable. When we've paid off debts, we'll have this money available to people. So we want people in Swale and Medway in particular to know that that's on their doorstep and there is this fund to support them.
So is this something that's happening in other areas across the country?
Yes. In fact, I've heard the statistic that last year, I might not get this completely right, but last year there were about 750 of these community energy projects, because the coalition government introduced this incentive really to encourage people to, community organisations to have their own locally generated power, renewable power that was owned by the local community. But this year, because of the change in the policy, the slashing of the feed-in tariff, the change to the social investment tax relief, the amount of projects now getting up and running has gone down to 200. So there's been quite a drop, because it is quite a difficult road to navigate. But yes, it's something that's still really good for our country in terms of energy security, because it's homegrown energy which is clean and renewable. And the added thing of having the fact that it's owned by people, not large corporations, it's owned by people and the profits are for people, is really good. So I'm sure it still has a very good future.
Was there anything else you'd like to get over to our listeners?
Yes, well, I'd love to say as well that to please visit at the website. It's www.orchard.coop, COOP, like co-op. And there's an Invest Here button. So, if you've got £500 that you'd like to invest, and you can kind of say goodbye to it for 3 years, not have to pull it, need it, that would be fantastic. Tell your friends about it. Tell any charities or organisations in Swale and Medway to look out for ideas they could suggest to us. And also, I'll be at the Maidstone Construction Expo. We'll have a stand there. They're very very kindly given us a stand for free. So if people did want to come and meet us and talk to us, then we're going to be there, and there's some other places that you can come and find us. So, yeah, just spread the word, and we just like to see people excited about it, and, where they can, if people can get the benefit of that interest rate, that would be wonderful.
Well, if you're happy we've covered everything, I'd like to thank you very much for talking to us here at BRFM.
Thank you as well, Daniel. Thank you.